Hey guys, what's up, Pixels here? In today's video, I'm doing a build for Lord Arthur. This is going to be his best build that you can use right now. You know, it's not going to be like a high damage build or anything like that. Nothing too crazy. It's just more so to get used to with his abilities and stuff like that. So obviously, you know, he has the Lord's Wrath ability that, you know, buffs the melee damage of the team, reduces the fear reduction, and has, you know, a good 15-second duration. It actually increases 30% damage of heavy melee attacks, 30% damage and the light melee attacks, as long as the team hits it in your aura, which is really good. And of course, if you perform a finisher while Lord of Wrath is active, the ability lasts longer as well, and that's a 3 extra seconds of duration every time you do a finisher. So, you know, taking that into account, the best thing I kind of went for with this guy was just aura effects, sort of similar to what I did with Leader Ashe. So basically, what you want to do is go for obviously great influence. From there, you know, you don't have to max that. You don't have to max it out. You know, putting 2 points into this, that's fine. So going 10 meters with this, that's a good enough range. Especially when you're doing the objectives like the dagger and the pages. So don't worry about going maximum of 15 meters on that. It's, you know, this is more than enough. What I like to do now, of course, is go stamina cost of sprinting and stamina cost of reduction of dodging, because leaders, I felt like, you know, when I was recording gameplay for this build, I was getting targeted quite a lot, which is quite insane. I don't know if it's just a strategy for demons to go for the leaders, but mainly I was getting targeted quite a lot. So, you know, having the extra stamina, being able to dodge out of the way of the attacks was very, very helpful. And of course, I just go for maximum health as well. It really helps out. And so the next thing you want to focus on with this guy is melee damage, and nothing with range at all. Obviously, he's focused around, like, his whole kit is based around, you know, doing melee damage, increased attacks, damage and stuff like that with quick melee and heavy attacks. So the next thing you're going to go for is obviously balance bar damage. And it's up to you how much you want to put into this. Obviously, I max it out eventually, but it's up to you, you know, depending on how many skill points you have. If you want to just, you know, put a little in that and then a little melee damage, it's up to you. But of course, then we want to max out melee damage too. Devastating Force. So, you know, like I said, you just want to focus melee damage as much as possible on this guy. So the next thing you want to go for is detection radius. That's just a necessity. You have to go for that, unfortunately. You know, 5% cooldown for your active skill isn't bad either. And the next thing, we're just going to max out aura improvement effect by 20% as well. And the next three, you literally just spend them on increased ammo. Your aura persist even if you're bleeding out, or become a soul, which is very helpful for the team, especially if they need the melee damage, you know. And of course, I go for Echoes of the Aura, which is a 3-second duration. Again, I don't really think this is necessary, because most of the time people are near you in anyways, especially during the objective scenarios. But, you know, putting a point in anything else was kind of, you know, a bit worthless. Like 3% damage reduction's not going to do much, is it? The only other thing you could do is potentially go for a 10% cooldown on his skill. So his skill has a 30-second cooldown, I think. 45 seconds, sorry. So you're only really taking 4 seconds off that, or 5 seconds, depending on how they've rounded it up or rounded it down. So I really don't think it's worth going for the quicker cooldown. So yeah, like I said, buffing up this guy's aura effects is the main thing that you want to do with him, especially with his melee damage as well. So most people's builds for this guy should probably look like this. You know, it's probably the best thing I can give. You know, for type of solo queue. You know, I've had 3 games. Like every time I do a build video, I test it out in 3 games. And, you know, if I'm not happy with certain things, I'll change it out. And, you know, I was really happy with this build. You know, doing 3 games, I won all 3 with this. And, you know, like all 3 games, I was getting quite targeted off the demon as well. And I was still managing to, you know, sustain myself in combat. You know, doing finishes is very much a priority with this guy as well. It's a shame what they did with this guy, actually, because in the beta, they actually changed his last skill. So in the beta, it used to actually be every time you did a finisher, it would trigger the Lord's Wrath. So instead, they've just gone for the extra duration, which, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of, because, you know, a lot of the time when there's loads of Deadites around, especially against Elagos, Elagos's minions, once you do get, you know, activate your ability, they pretty much get one-shotted off your sword in anyways, so you can't really do a finisher, which, you know, kind of sucks. But, you know, against demons like Henrietta and Evil Ashe, they do kind of help out a little bit with getting the extra duration. But like I said, I preferred his old method, where every time you did the finisher, it gives you obviously the Lord's Wrath ability, which I think was really nice. I mean, you can pretty much have it like a lot of the game, which was good, but, you know, I can kind of see why they did remove that. But yeah, obviously I just went for the, you know, the aura effects improvement. There is other builds you can do for this guy. Obviously you can go for just total tank mode if you want to do that, but honestly, being a leader, you definitely need the aura aura effect improvements. But anyways, let me just jump in and tell you guys how you should be spending the pink fuck on this guy. Okay, so spending the pink fuck on this guy is pretty straightforward. The first thing you always want to go for on this is stamina. Leaders don't have don't have as much stamina as, you know, a lot of the other ones. They probably have a little bit more stamina than warriors. Maybe it's the same as support. Obviously hunters have the most stamina in the game, but buffing their stamina up is very key, especially early game. You know, you want to be sprinting around as much as you can, getting as much loot as you can. So stamina in the early game for pink fuck is very key for this. And then straight into melee damage for this guy. So, you know, put 3 into stamina, 3 into melee, and then 3 into health. And then from there, it's still totally up to you. If you want to go fear reduction, that's great. You know, the thing is with leaders, they already have a fear resistance, so you don't really have to worry about the fear too much with the pink fuck. And of course, you have the range there if you want to do range with this guy. I did ranged in a couple of scenarios with this dude. It did help out, especially against the bosses. So you know, it doesn't hurt going into range. And of course, shield again, I wasn't that too bothered about. Only if I found enough amulets and that type of thing. Shield is usually like the last thing I go for on these characters. Obviously shield on warrior I go for quite like straight away, and some support characters as well, but like I said, stamina, melee, then health, those are the main 3 that you want to get leveled up with pink fuck. And then from there, it's entirely up to you guys what you want to do. But yeah, like I said, you know, this guy's a lot of fun to play as. He's probably the best leader in the game right now. It hurts me to say it, but he's better than Ash from the TV show, but because he's obviously my favorite character in the game. But this guy's really fun to play as, especially spawning with the sword as well can be really fun. If you find a better sword than this guy, then, you know, most of the time you will win the game if you do have some decent teammates to stick with you. And obviously, if the teammates stick with you, they get the increased, you know, damage, and they increase, like, you know, the fear reduction when you've got the Lord's Wrath ability. It's really nice to have. But yeah, he's probably the best leader in the game, especially when warrior is being tight as more or less the DPS in this game. You know, I know hunters, you know, they're really good for taking down bosses, but this guy, we're paired up with a bunch of warriors, it just wipes out the demons. It's just so good. But yeah, like I said, this guy is really fun to play. You know, I know a lot of people were asking me, you know, what type of build can I have for Lord Arthur? I was just telling them, I was like, it's basically much the same as using it on Ash, because, you know, being a leader, you need the aura effect improvements, which helps out your team quite a lot. I'm not entirely sure what, you know, the math is on the aura effect improvement. Obviously, it's 20% for the Master of Influence. You know, when you do get the damage on the light attacks of 30%, so, you know, obviously you take 10% off 30%. I'm not sure how it works out, but, you know, that could be like an extra 6% damage on top of that. It depends how they do it, but, you know, it's still nice to have the increased damage from that too. But anyways, guys, this has been my Lord Arthur build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave me a like, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of this build. What build do you like to use on Lord Arthur? I'm going to be doing different builds for each character as well, not just their best build, but, you know, doing some pretty wacky builds, like, you know, objective time increase and stuff like that, which could be really fun to test out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, hit that sub button for more Evil Dead content. I do stream this game Monday to Thursday, sometimes on a Friday as well, depending on how I'm feeling, if I want to do an extra stream or not. But I'm having a huge blast with this game. I'm trying to get all these build videos out as fast as I can. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Pixels, you're my awesome viewers. I'll catch you guys in the next one.